Howdy, everyone. I'm Ben Solak. This is The Play Sheet. It's a weekly show we're going to do on The Ringer. We're going to talk about some cool players. We're going to break down some plays that show how cool they are. We're going to bring on correspondents. We're going to talk about other football stuff. This is our week 1 episode. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening script, second-year quarterbacks. 2021 quarterback class was sick. There were 5 first-round picks. Davis Mills, third-round pick. He's a starter. So everybody's pumped to see what they look like in their second season. Week 1 wasn't great. Second-year quarterbacks went 1-3-1. Zach Wilson didn't play. He's hurt. Justin Fields was the only winner. He was playing another second-year quarterback in Trey Lance. And then Trevor Lawrence lost to Washington. Mac Jones scored 7 points against the Dolphins. Davis Mills was winning there for a little bit against the Colts. And then a tie. Aww. Interestingly, the only second-year quarterback receiving heavy scrutiny for his performance is the least experienced of the bunch. That's Trey Lance. Let's start at the end and work our way backwards. Lance was fine against the Bears. He wasn't the reason they lost the game. He certainly wasn't as good as a quarterback like Jimmy would have been, but that's always going to be the case when one of the guys is in his 3rd NFL start and the other dude is an 8-year NFL veteran. The guy's an 8-year NFL veteran because he's pretty good at the game. This was Lance's 3rd NFL start. He had 2 starts last season because Jimmy was hurt. Before that, he sat out the entire 2020 season at North Dakota State. It was the COVID year. He opted out. He played 1 total game against Central Arkansas. Before that, he was a 1-year starter as a redshirt freshman at North Dakota State. They went 15-0. He won MVP of the national championship game. He was the freshman of the year. It was a pretty good season. But altogether, that left Lance with just over 300 career passing attempts at the college level. At the NFL level, he's yet to attempt his 100th pass. Lance was rawer than sushi coming out of North Dakota State, but he had the tools that Kyle Shanahan wanted to change the offense. Shanahan has always had Jimmy. He's always had a quarterback who can get him close to the promised land. Kyle wanted the offense to become more than just a Jimmy Garoppolo can make it, or a Kirk Cousins can make it, or even a Mac Jones, who, remember, people thought was going to be the pick at number 3 when the Niners traded up for the eventual Trey Lance selection. But it's Lance at 6'4", 224 with over 1,000 career rushing yards in college. It's his ability to add to the running game, his arm strength that opens up the field that Kyle wanted to change his offense, to make it more dynamic, more explosive. To expect the offense to look like that in Lance's 3rd career start is silly. Because he has such little experience, he's going to need time, live reps, to develop, to become accustomed to NFL speed. We've all been contorted by guys like Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, who just walked onto the field and were sick, which they weren't even that great. Herbert got a lot better over the first month of him starting. Lamar was shaky as a passer when he was stepping in for Joe Flacco at the end of the season. These guys improve. But just because we've had some young quarterbacks step in and immediately dominate doesn't mean that if a young quarterback doesn't, he's not going to be good. We can see in this Bears game examples of how live reps for Trey Lance are helping him become better as a quarterback. We can see those examples in the Bears game with play action. This is a 3rd and 3 early in the game. Not going to be a conversion, incomplete pass, very inaccurate from Lance. However, there are reasons why this pass is inaccurate. We can talk about those and then see how they develop. Lance is going to want Juwan Jennings right here on the slant. Brandon Ayuk's going to kind of clear out the corner, should open a space nicely here. Lance's job is to make sure that he moves these linebackers so that he has room to throw this to the middle of the field. And he does that. Actually, as we run the play, we can see that Lance is initially going to open with his eyes to the bottom of the screen, little 2-man combo here. He's going to pull this linebacker down. So we're opening up this window to throw to Juwan Jennings. However, interior pressure. The left guard, Aaron Banks, young guy, he loses right away. So now we have a defense tackle in Lance's lap. He's already forced to step up in the pocket. Jennings hasn't broken past this linebacker here yet, so you can't throw the ball yet. So he's got to reset in the pocket, and now it's time to throw this ball. But there's still more pressure. Robert Quinn off the left side. The other defensive tackle is getting into his lap. This route is developing. It needs to be thrown now. Lance is not in a position where he's ready to throw. When he stepped up in the pocket, he didn't get to a throwing platform quickly enough. As he starts his motion, receiver's already broken into the window. This ball's late, and he has to jump when he throws this little jump throw because he's got pressure in his lap. And this is an inaccurate ball, way behind Jennings, uncatchable. We didn't react quickly enough. We didn't get our feet down in time. We didn't get our throwing motion started early enough to handle that. You can actually see it really nicely from the end zone view, right? So here's Lance in the pocket. He's going to initially move his helmet to that side, move 53 out of the way. Here comes the interior pressure. Big jump forward. We're not ready to throw. We don't know where to look. We have to pat the ball. We have to jump when we throw. Inaccurate pass. You can contrast that with a later 3rd down, 3rd and 9. Later in the game, this is a pressure look for the Bears too. Very clear passing down, right? Got 6 dudes up on the line. Lance again is going to have to throw on time to a route at the sticks. We got 3 options. Ross Dwelley, the tight end, is going to break between the hashes right at the line to gain. Juwan Jennings also curling, and then we have Brandon Ayuk breaking to the sideline. So we're going to have to rhythm our drop, make a decision, throw. Ball snapped, Bears drop out, right? So we have 2 linebackers now flowing to this middle of the field. We have a nickel coming on a pressure. And once again, we're going to have in our lap an interior winner, defensive tackle, right in our lap right now. Watch Lance. Reset in the pocket. Feet land ready to throw, already releasing. Our motion's already starting as Ross Dwelley breaks at the sticks. And while he's moving up in that pocket, right, while he's experiencing that interior pressure, he's got to read out where to 58 drop, where to 53 drop, where's the corner sitting, who is going to break with the most space, where do I throw this ball? So he's got to see that as he moves up in the pocket. He chooses Dwelley beyond the sticks. Now we got to throw the ball with velocity, right? We're on an adjusted platform. We have to throw this ball fast because there are zone defenders closing right in. Bears are at sticks defense. They knew where these routes were developing. First down. We can see this again from the end zone view. You're going to see the same sort of pocket ideas you saw before, right? Lance snaps the football, immediate interior pressure. Right at the top of his drop, Robert Quinn is going to be in his lap. Eyes are up. He knows he wants to throw it to. And watch how much faster he's up in the pocket and he's ready to throw. It was tight, but it's a catch and it's a first down. That's development. It's simple. It's stupid. It feels nominal, but it's not. We talk all the time about rookies adjusting to NFL speed. That's what that was. It was, what is the timing of this concept with NFL bodies flying around at 100%? You don't get that experience. You don't get that knowledge, that intuition, that internal clock without playing the football game. So long as Lance continues to have these moments in games where something that was shaky in the first half gets better in the second half, something that was shaky in week 1 becomes stronger in week 2, the Niners are going to leave him on the field. And now, our Geno Smith correspondent, Stephen Ruiz. Geno Smith versus Russell Wilson, the Who's the Best Seattle Seahawks Quarterback Bowl. And the official winner is Geno Smith with a decisive 17-16 victory. There are folks who believe that this will be the only good Geno Smith game, and it came just because it was against the Broncos, and there'll be no further Geno Smith games. What do you say to the haters?
The same thing Geno Smith said. They try to write him off, and he ain't right back. I ain't writing back.
Is Geno Smith better than this NFL quarterback, Joe Montana?
Of course. Anybody after the 90s, or before the 90s.
If Geno was in New England for the last 2 decades, how many Super Bowl championships would he have?
You have to think he beats Nick Foles. So 7.
Thank you, Stephen Ruiz. Time for Under Presser, the segment in which we find a coach who is mad in a presser and or lying in a presser and or complaining about the media as the reason why his team gave up a 16-point lead against the New Orleans Saints in a presser. And then we talk about / make fun of what he said. Falcons lose 27-26. NFL.com reports that this is the 3rd time since 2020 that the Atlanta Falcons have blown a lead of at least 15 points in the 4th quarter. The entire NFL has done it twice. 31 teams 2 times, the Atlanta Falcons 3 times. Here's what Arthur Smith, second-year head coach, had to say after the loss. Ooh, that felt so official. Like tossing. That was like a host or something.
You guys wrote our obituary back in May, and you'll continue to write our obituary. Who cares?
Okay, a little bit salty, but whatever. Doesn't usually take like 6 months to write an obituary. Also, the Falcons aren't going to be very good this year, as evidenced by their loss, but whatever. I get it, you're upset. He then tried to mic drop the end of the presser.
So write whatever y'all want. The same guys that you guys ranked us 45th, you buried us in May, bury us again. We don't care. We'll get back to work. Thank you.
So there's a lot to investigate here. Number one, the same guys who ranked us 45th. There are 32 teams in the National Football League, of which you are one. Number 2, you buried us in May, you're going to bury us again. You buried you in May, man. March 1st, 2022, Terry Fontenot, general manager. We view Matt as the long-term member of the team. We view Matt as our plan going forward. Guess who was not in the building 2 weeks later? Matt Ryan, 14-year veteran quarterback in the Atlanta Falcons. Why? Because you guys investigated a Deshaun Watson trade. You wanted to get better at quarterback. You failed to do so, and in doing so, you lost your veteran quarterback. Now, you have Marcus Mariota and drafted Desmond Ridder. And the worst part about all this is that it was kind of freaking sick. They're running like pistol, gadget plays, play action nonsense. It was cool. All you had to do was win the game, and the vibes in Atlanta would have been so much better than people thought in week 1 of the season against the New Orleans Saints. You had the win, and then you lost. And the Falcons continue to do this. The number 1 takeaway is this. Arthur Smith does not care about what the media is saying. Not at all. And that's it for our week 1 show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Preach the gospel of Trey Lance. Subscribe. I've never done one of the subscribe things before, but I know they usually show up on one of the 2 sides of the screen. So click the thing and ring that bell. We'll be here next week.